Everybody, for this brief tutorial we're going to look at three different things within Boardmaker Online: folders, activity sets, and playlists, just to kind of dispel some of the myths around each of those and to kind of get them individualized in your mind. I'm back on my activities page. You'll see all my activities listed in a long strand here, and I'm going to go back to the point where, since we share these as classrooms, for the most part, we have several staff working in each one of these from different disciplines and from different areas. So it's important to not only name your activity something revealing, for instance, social work dash whatever it is, or OT dash whatever it is, keeping that consistent. But also keeping folders for your items, that way they're kept clean and neat too. So to create a folder on your page, simply go to Create Folder. It's going to ask you to name your folder. Kind of going off what I was just saying, you could name it something like social work and then hit create, and that'll create your folder right in your main activity page here. And now if you want to add things to that folder, you simply go to the button that looks kind of like a plus sign there. You click it, move it to the folder. It'll ask you which folder you'd like to move it to, and it will move that activity. Do it again with this hand washing activity. Move the activity to the folder. And there it goes right there. Now the important thing here is that it's moving the actual activity to the folder. So when you open it up, it's the actual activity. So if a lot of people share the activity, you may not want to do that. You may want to move it somewhere else or create a different folder, a collaborative folder, or things like that. That's the actual activity right there. Okay? Let's go back to our activities page. Here we are back on our activities page. You'll notice something called an activity set. Now activity sets, you can create an unlimited number of activity sets. You can play them, you can send them to somebody, you can assign them. It's right at the top there. So if I create an activity set, I have to give it a title. I'm going to call this one OT Fine Motor. I can make a description here of it, and then I can save and continue. What it's going to do is bring me to a page that looks like this. And in here these are all of my activities from my other page right here. I can then drag activities into this activity set from my main page. Unlike folders, this is creating a copy of the activity and putting it into the activity set. It's not the actual activity, it's a copy of the activity. It's putting in the actual activity set. Okay? Now what I can do is hit the back button to save. Yes, back saves in this. And it'll bring me back to my main page of activities. And you'll notice that I have 3 activities in my new OT Fine Motor activity set. Okay? And here are the activities right here. Subsequently, I can then play these activities, share them, send them, do whatever I want with them, and I can create an unlimited number of these activity sets. So folder, create, organize, it is not a copy. Activity set, create, organize, it is a copy. Last but not least is playlist. And you can move items to your playlist by clicking it right here. And a playlist is an organized group of activities for instructional purposes. The app also draws activities off of the playlist, so it needs to be on the playlist if it's going to show up in the app. Okay, let me say that again. It needs to be on the playlist if it's going to show up in the app. Okay? I'm going to go back to my activities again. So to add something to your playlist, you have 1 playlist per account. Okay? So anything you want to do on the app, you have to add it to your playlist, which goes back to what I was saying, how you need to make sure you name things nicely in a identifiable fashion whenever you're doing activity sets or just individual files. So you need to add it to your playlist in order for it to show up in the app. Okay? Once something is added to the playlist, it's still on your main page and it's also on the playlist. And if I want to take it off of the playlist, I simply hit the X button. And that's removing it from the playlist, but it's not deleting the activity. Okay? Now to go back to what we were saying before about activity sets and folders. A folder is an organized group of activities from a main page here. An activity set is an organized group of activities from main page. You cannot assign a folder to your playlist. You cannot assign a folder to your playlist. You can assign an activity set to your playlist. Let me say that one more time. You cannot assign a folder to your playlist, but you can assign an activity set to your playlist. And this is the important part here. If you're working with a group of students or an individual student on, say, math, you would want to create an activity set of math activities you have for that student. Then you can share that to your playlist, and it'll show up in a nice one square on the app instead of activities scattered everywhere. Because we don't have individual student accounts, it's an easy way to create a set of work for a student and then assign it to the app. So you can assign activity sets to the playlist. You cannot assign folders to the playlist. And we'll talk a little bit more about this as we go through it. But that, I just wanted to give you a kind of a general idea of what a folder is, what a playlist is, what an activity set is. As we work through it, it'll become a little clearer. I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.